Welcome to Afternoon Tea with Casey Women's Ministry, where we talk about all things doula, education, postpartum, and birth. All right. So thank you for joining us today. Today, I have an amazing guest with us. Her name is Kristen Mason, and she is not only a wonderful birth and bereavement doula. No. Did you get bereavement training?
I'm almost done.
Almost done. So she's
Almost
a wonderful
I'll be right there in just
birth and postpartum doula. As well as the education and programs director with Casey Women's Ministry. So without further ado, I'll introduce myself. As you all know, hopefully, I am Brittney Brownell. I am a certified birth and bereavement doula through Still Birth Day and a certified birth photographer. And I am the marketing director and volunteer with Casey Women's Ministry. So Kristen, tell me a little bit about yourself.
Hi, so my name is Kristen Mason, and I am probably most known to our viewers as the programs director with Casey Women's Ministry. Hi, everyone. I am also a certified maternal support practitioner, is what my certification body chose to call it. They don't like the term doula because of its history. I like the term doula, but that's what my certification is. So through that, I am considered a full spectrum doula. So I actually do have from fertility, birth, and postpartum certifications. I'm also a certified childbirth educator through Milestones Midwifery, which is a really awesome local midwife, Cheryl Gates, love you. And so I teach childbirth education as well. And I am almost done. I'm this close to being done to a certified birth doula and bereavement doula through Still Birth Day. I'm also working on getting my breastfeeding education through ABC Birth Services. Is that what it's called?
No, it's Birth Arts International.
Birth Arts International.
You're welcome.
Thank you. I was looking at more than one. And
yeah. Yep. I'm in the process of that same training. It's a good one. I've got that one kind of on the back burner at the moment though, because I'm working on my yoga certification. So. Yeah. So tell me a little bit about your business.
So my personal business, I guess I didn't list that.
Yeah.
I am the sole proprietor and owner-operator of Childbirth Together Education and Doula Services, LLC. And it is a huge passion of mine to, I mostly do childbirth education through that. I contract to the ministry and donate a lot of my classes to them, which is amazing. And I get to go out and do a lot of work with them. And then I also do offer birth services through my personal business. And if you do hire me through that, then I use the Friends of Casey Women's Ministry, where I get a backup doula through Doula Backup Insurance, which is fantastic. We'll get you a backup and they'll be great. So I absolutely love that. And yeah, that's my personal business.
Awesome. I love recommending your business for classes and stuff when I'm talking to people.
Yeah, I love my classes. I just wrapped up another one just on this past Saturday. And it was fantastic. I just updated my whole class. And so my online has been updated with my in-person content, and it's all fresh and ready to go. It was super fun.
Yes. She does great classes if you have a chance to sign up for them. So what do you love about being a doula?
A lot. I have to say, one of my favorite things about being a fertility doula is the celebration of success, and honestly being able to be there for the process up to it.
Okay.
There's a lot of heart that goes into fertility work, and you get to know each other on a really intimate level, the whole family, and being able to be there for somebody through that journey that can be really hard is pretty amazing. My favorite part of being a birth doula is the difference that you can make in somebody's birth story. I really love working with clients that take the advice and the tools that we give them and really, really use them and get to see it make a difference for them. You know, did you do the exercises that I gave you? Did you really dive into the education material that I gave you? And then watch it make a huge difference and see them use that knowledge in their birth is amazing. I absolutely love it. When you see them say, you know, this is what I want, and knowing what they want instead of, you know, you get a lot of, oh, I don't even know. And that can be really stressful for somebody who's giving birth to feel like they don't know. And just that, I mean, is probably my favorite, just seeing that difference. Postpartum, I love the relief. Even just when I just first show up at the door, you can just see parents just, oh, help is here. Making that difference and being able to be there for them.
I love that.
Yeah, it is. It's beautiful. Just even when you first show up to when you leave, when I leave, I want to hear them say, oh, thank you for coming. I feel so much better.
Yes.
Job done.
And that's one of the best things of birth and postpartum, I think. You know, when you first walk in that door and someone's in labor and they just, I mean, you see their whole body just relax.
Yes.
You know, it's that. So what sets you apart as a doula?
You know, I feel that I'm really good at reading my client and bonding with them and understanding what it is that they want that makes them unique. I tailor the way that I support my client based on their needs, which can change through the moment. I did 2 births this week, for example. One of them, she had leg labor, and I was very, very actively involved the whole time. I was doing counter pressure. I was doing massage. I was working with the birth team. The partner wasn't particularly involved in the birth, and so I was really able to just move things around to make him feel involved as possible, but at the same time trying to keep her out of the back of her brain, which is one doula style. I did another birth this week in the exact same week where she did not want to be touched. Touch was the opposite of what she wanted. She didn't want it at all. And she had an incredibly involved partner that wanted to be right there the whole time, but he couldn't touch her. I couldn't touch her. And for a lot of doulas, it's like, okay, that's outside. Like I do hip squeezes, I do rebozo, I don't know what to do if I can't touch my client, but I was able to doula her with my voice, eye contact, getting down, bringing her back, reminding her what her goals were, bringing the partner in and saying, I need you to do this. I need you to use, you know, this kind of language. Bring your tone down. No, we need a low voice. Start high pitch. No, partner, low voice, which of course I would use names, but I'm not going to use it here because I'm talking about someone that I'm not going to give their info. Right. So being able to work with that, bringing the whole birth team in, including the medical staff. I have a lot of training. I actually teach training on how to do that. So that sets me apart a lot. And then being a director at the ministry, I have access to so much continued education. It is unbelievable. I take so much continued education, as does Brittney. So that sets us apart as a group from other doulas that you might work with that have one training and then they read books and they're interested, but we have access to quality continued training all the time, constantly throughout the year. So we're always learning and bettering ourselves.
We love it. I'm a glutton for education.
Glutton for it. It's just never ending. I mean, we're constantly taking more trainings and learning more out there and more techniques. How do you doula with your voice if you can't touch your client? You know,
that's very unique skill. You know,
what do you do when your client hates hip squeezes? Because that happens. And if all you know is hip squeeze, or if all you know is rebozo, then you're in a lot of trouble. And we have access to, okay, this isn't working. This isn't working. This isn't working. I'm going to teach you another technique that they don't tend to teach in doula trainings.
Yeah. Which there are so many times when I've had to doula with just my voice, you know, and it's not necessarily just because the family doesn't want to be touched. It might be because I have the partner doing the touching. So then what do I do? Or maybe we're at a point where, you know, she's in bed and she's laying down And I literally can't access what I would normally access in order to do hip squeezes or counter pressure. And she doesn't want to be rubbed. That's totally fine. Okay, well then let's use our voice. Let's use our eye contact. Let's use that physical stuff. That's definitely
grounding.
Yes, grounding. That is, and the meditation and, all of those other things that you don't get in that initial training. Those absolutely make you a very unique asset as a doula and very unique support as a doula. I love that. So what passion do you hope to pass on to your clients? What's that thing you want your clients to really feel from you when you come and support them?
I want all of my clients to feel in completely control of their birth space. That is my ultimate goal. I want, no matter what your outcome is from your birth, if you went in not wanting pain medication, then you ended up having it. Or if you went in not wanting pain medication and you didn't, and that was awesome. Or if you went in, there's so many options, no matter what the outcome is, including C-section, if you didn't want one. I want my clients to feel that they were fully informed, listened to, and made the final decisions on every single step and were in control. I always say you're the queen of your labor space. If at any point you don't feel like you're sitting there wearing a crown, then I need to be doing something to fix that.
I love that. I love it.
Yeah, that's my goal. And that's why I always, when I'm doing my perinatal, which is when we go and meet with our clients after they give birth, I say, was there any point during your labor that you didn't feel in control? And what could we have done to kind of work with that? And, it's always my goal for them to say, no, I felt in control. And like, I knew it was happening the entire time.
That's awesome. Which is so important in postpartum time and after you have a baby. Just having that control helps reduce, any of the postpartum mood disorders.
Yes. When you feel that you're in control, even if you're sitting in the middle of a traumatic event, you are statistically far less likely to actually absorb the trauma. As a person giving birth, as a person just in the birth space, that helps partners. If partners feel that they and their partner are in control, or moms, friends, doulas, anybody else who's in that birth space feels that everything is being communicated and understood, they're less likely to have a traumatic response, even to a traumatic event.
Absolutely. I love it. So if you were to describe yourself as one of the elements, what are you and why?
This is the air, water, fire, earth. We've done this before.
Earth, air, water, and fire.
Right. I believe that I said water. I definitely have grown and evolved. I remember when I first became a doula, I couldn't pick an element because I was like, I'm son of all of these things. But as I've doulaed more and kind of found myself more, I definitely identify more as water. Water, it is fully encompassing, lifts you up, helps bring you, where you're going. I love the support and nurturing aspect of a water doula, and that it's going through the flow of the circumstances, but making changes over time. I'm not the fire doula that, blasts in there with full advocacy, making the big changes, which is awesome. I definitely used to be that way. Or the other, that's really where I see myself.
I like it. I like it.
When the things necessary for my particular client and their particular circumstances with the specific birth team that they have.
So what is your favorite thing about KC Women's Ministry?
Oh my gosh, everything. Everything.
Narrow it down, girl. Narrow it down.
I'm not narrow.
No.
So from a businesswoman's perspective, if I'm putting on my childbirth together hat, my favorite thing about the ministry is how much of the admin work that they do for me that I don't want to do. KC Women's Ministry does a ton of my advertising for me. I am so lazy on my personal business's marketing, and I still get clients and students and all the name recognition because the ministry just does it for me. And Brittney is in charge of marketing. So thanks, Brittney. It's just part of what I get as a platinum member. You know, when I'm doing my doula work, because I contract through the ministry. So if it's a ministry client and they're hiring me to do the work, then I don't have to do the billing. I don't have to keep track of their payment plans or their paperwork or any of it. I am just the happy doula that gets to go and do what I'm passionate about, and leave the admin business work to them. And that when I am doing it by myself and I'm using, you know, backup doula insurance, there's more that I have to do on my end on the admin side. And I'm always like, I forgot how much I didn't like this. Yep. Does it for you, which is the absolute best. And it's so much easier to be able to do more clients and connect with more people because you're not being bogged down by all of the other things that come with running a business.
Yeah, all the business side. Mm-hmm. Yep. And, you know, it's funny you say that because you do all the client processing.
Yes. But it's different because the ministry has all of these really nice, fancy things that have been put together. And as a 501c3, we have access to the nice, pretty business things that make all the client processing so much easier and cleaner and uniform, versus doing it for yourself. Yeah.
Yeah, we've got the workflow really hammered out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's not the same when I'm doing it for my personal business. When I have to, and it's almost worse because I'm used to doing all of the processing on the client side. Because Madison does all the processing on the doula side. That's kind of how we have it split out. Mm-hmm. And I'm used to doing it for the ministry, and the workflows are so smooth. And I have all of these nice, fancy processing apps and whatnot for me.
Yeah.
And people that assist, you know, I just send them, say, hey, can you send me this, this, and this? And they're like, sure. And then they do, versus my personal business and it's just me.
I know what you mean.
Using my cheap, free processing and storage stuff.
Yeah. Just figuring out the process.
Mm-hmm. And I don't have to do the money side with Casey Women's Ministry. So but like, I don't have to remind people that they owe money and make sure that everything gets collected and deal with people that are not paying on time and all of those things. That's
Abigail.
But I do have to do that with my personal business. And I love when I don't have to, because I'm working through the ministry. I get to just doula. They just
that is such a great perk.
And I just do what I love and none of the stuff that I don't.
Yep. You get a team and you go.
And you go. Yes, the team. Oh, the team is amazing. I did one of those from this week was personal. And the whole time I kept being like, I wish I had a team.
Yeah. I wish I had someone to ask these questions or just to support me or
just to talk to, man.
Just to talk to you about what's
I didn't have any questions or anything, but I'm just used to being able to talk to my team, to be able to decompress using specifics because I have signed permission from my client to do so is fantastic.
Yeah.
They say, yeah, I've got a doula team and I get to talk to everyone and I get to use names and circumstances and be exact and just, whew. And then I learn from you guys because you say, oh yeah, that's like what you did was great. I would have done this. And I'd be like, oh, that would have been awesome. Or like then the next time in the birth space that I'm remembering, hey, Brittney said that if she had a client who was having really bad leg labor, that she specifically pushed on this part of the leg and I specifically pushed on this part of the leg. I'm going to try both and see which one works better, you know, because certain people are going to have different responses, right? They're going to, baby's in a different place. They're, you know, their body is responding to it differently. Both of the births that I did this week were very unique. One was a VBAC and the other had a really bad epidural injury from her previous birth. And I had to be really conscious of this incredibly painful epidural injury through the entire process. And And that changes things, and that's different. And then I get to talk to people and I get to learn about it and say, what did you do? And it's great. And then you grow as a person through the collective knowledge of the group. And if you are in this situation and you do have questions, then you're not turning to Google or trying to go through your stuff on your phone, or
you just quickly have an answer from someone.
What I would do if you just, I am running into this situation and this is not currently working. What do you do? And then you have a whole team that goes, oh, this, and it's immediate because they know you're at a birth and they answer right away.
Yep. Yep.
So page 2.
Kristen was actually my backup this week, which was awesome for Friends of Casey Women's Ministry, because it was a personal client, and I was finishing up my family vacation, and
as happens.
Yeah, which of course, the whole time she's there, I'm awake and I'm answering, and I'm, it's a team atmosphere in that way for the Friends of, but we're totally off track. But anyway.
We are. Well, not really. Friends of KCWM is another thing that I love about like that.
It is so,
it makes it possible really to be able to do things like go on family vacation.
Yes.
Because if we have a whole
backup,
ring of doulas.
Yeah.
It's not just one. If you leave and you only have one backup, then if that one backup isn't available, sick, not answering their phone, blah, 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 you've got an unsupported client. There's nothing you can do about it. If you have the ministry, then you just message the ministry and say, hey, my backup's not answering. And then we send someone else.
That's right.
A whole list of doulas. So
that's right. And you mostly choose. I mean, you've got top pick, but it's a great program. It's a great program.
I always pitch the ministry. This is supposed to be my personal business. I never do that.
The backup.
They're so intertwined at this point,
I know. Mine really is too. We both still have totally separate aspects of our businesses, but it just.
I feel like yours has more because you make stuff. For me,
I make all of my
all of my stuff is donated or works in conjunction in some way. So it's kind of hard to tell them apart. Really, for the most part, it's just if I'm doing it through my personal business, then I know that I have to do a lot more admin work.
Yeah. Admin work takes up a lot of time. That's what I'm really trying to hammer out with my personal business is the admin work, that workflow of when I get a client, what is my first step? What is my next step? And I don't want to miss something. So you really have to have that workflow hammered out. And that's something the ministry already has, and if I have a client wanting a lower rate, then I say, hey, then you need to go through the ministry and ask for me, and they'll get you a sliding scale application. I don't know what I'm looking at. I don't want to look at it. I don't want to deal with it. I don't want to say, okay, you
As the person who processes the sliding scale applications, I can tell you it's extensive.
It is.
And there's federal guidelines and all kinds of stuff. And it's all hammered out for the ministry. And I know exactly it's so easy to do through the ministry, but personally it would be
I don't want to do it.
So easy. But
no, I don't want to do it. I had a client who, she came to me and she's like, I really can't afford the top dollar rate. I'm like, okay, well then I do offer sliding scale through the ministry. I still get paid the same amount one way or another. Mm-hmm. But she gets a lower rate, which is fantastic for her and for me. I don't have to do all that awful work.
Yeah.
Looking at her
or
financial.
Potentially just lose the client because they can't afford you.
Yeah, I don't want to lose the client. I want to support her. We've already made a great connection. We've been talking. We had a great connection, and I didn't want to lose that. But I need her to be supported at the rate she can afford. And I don't know what I'm looking at. I don't have a workflow. I don't have any of that set up for sliding scale, but I can offer that through the ministry. And the ministry does it all. And I'm like, okay, now I have my client. I don't have to worry about all the inside stuff.
Yay!
Back in. It's great.
And then getting to work with the nonprofit mamas it's heart work,
It is.
Getting to go once a month to see the teen moms and do childbirth education classes. It's one of the things that my business donates. It's amazing. I grow every time, learning from them, learning from their circumstances, the domestic violence survivors. It's incredibly impoverished people that you show up to do their prenatal and there's holes in the floor and the walls and kids running around everywhere.
And it's heartbreaking to see, but you can still give them control and power through the doula work.
Mm-hmm.
It's where we can make that difference. And that is hard work. Absolutely.
Yeah. And I've definitely learned a lot of strength from them. The people that live there day to day, the moms that are giving birth to these babies, they are so strong and incredible. And it's a privilege to get to serve them, really. I mean, it is. And you grow as a person, not just as a birth worker, and you grow a lot as a birth worker, but as a person in general as well.
I totally agree. I love that part too.
The best part, personal standpoint. It's always business and then there's personal. From my personal standpoint, that's the best. That is the best by far. There is nowhere else to go to get that. That is it. It is the ministry. Nobody else contracts with these other nonprofits.
Nope. And we still pay for it.
Mm-hmm. We
pay our doulas for that work.
Sometimes there's
yes.
funded and there's unfunded. Sometimes it's volunteer. Sometimes it's funded. We are working very, 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 very hard to fund as many of them as possible. But sometimes it's volunteer work.
But it's great volunteer work. And if you're looking for volunteer work and you're a doula, it's a great place to volunteer. So just put that out there.
I personally am a Christian and I tithe my births. So when I'm doing the volunteer birth, I consider that a tithe between me and God. Not all of us are Christians. Some people just want to do volunteer, but it's something for me that is me giving. It's a spiritual, religious thing for me. Not for everyone, but that's how I view it. And there's so much just spiritual fulfillment that comes from it as well.
Definitely. So let's talk a little bit about you. What's your family look like? If you're okay giving that out there.
My family is in this home currently. You can hear them in the background. See my dog running around with a little cone on his head because he won't stop scratching his face. I have been married for almost 8 years, 7.5 years. And I married my college sweetheart, not high school, but he's the best. And then I have 2 kids. Emily is 5 and Benjamin is 3. He turns 4 the day after Christmas. They are almost exactly 15 months apart, which is great. And I have a little dog named Hartha Canute. And if you're a history major like I was, then you understand why that's funny. If you don't, it's very confusing. And his name is Noodles.
Yeah, or we just call him Newt.
He was given to me by my husband in college 4 days before he proposed to distract me from the fact that I was definitely catching on the fact that he was going to propose. And he knew that I wanted a puppy. So he got me a puppy. And then I was like, oh, that's what all of this was. He was getting us a dog to share, It was so cuddly and cute. Yeah, we were sharing a dog that was staying at his place. And no, he was proposing. He just wanted to distract me, but he also wanted a dog. So
he didn't want you to figure it out. That's all.
He didn't want me to figure it out. And he wanted a dog.
He's being so sweet and gentlemanly.
Right.
Okay. Tell me a fun fact about yourself, something about your personality. Maybe it's a habit, something in your history, just something about you.
Something about me. So I am a total goof is probably, I am extremely ornery. And I am well known as being extremely ornery. I am the person that pulls all of the childish pranks all the time in the middle of being the most professional person in the room. I'm also the goofiest person in the room. It's a very interesting combination that exists in my body at the same time.
Yeah, you're weird.
I can turn the goof off and be the most professional or the most caring or, what the situation calls for in my doula life, in my director life. But I also refuse to turn the goofy off all the time. And it's a huge joy that I get. I love pulling pranks on people and just being really goofy, getting to know people really well because it's personable. I don't know. There's something about when you have a friend that is constantly being fun and open and sharing, and then you're fun and open and sharing back.
Yeah, it makes it fun. It keeps the day going and keeps it new and inviting.
You hear someone shrieking in another room, Kristen did something.
Yeah, probably. And it's definitely Kristen who did it and not someone else.
Madison was just lamenting the fact that I made her think I put a spider on her at our vision.
Yeah.
I didn't. It was a leaf. But she thought it was a daddy long leg. And she reacted like it was a daddy long leg. And it was dark. And we were walking through the woods and it was perfect.
Because she's ornery. And it is funny. Yeah, I will agree. It's funny.
It's funny. And it can relieve the most tension-filled situations.
It's funny. If you got it in you, do it.
I do. I have a very mischievous mind.
Now, I know the answer to this next question, but I don't know if our viewers do. Are you a geek? If so, how geeky? What kind of geek are you?
I'm many versions of geek. I am lots of geek all rolled into one. I grew up a total history nerd. That is what I have my college degree in. I emphasized Stuart Tudor England. So I would win any trivia about King Henry VIII.
Yeah, I'm not going to win that one.
He was my interest in history. So there is that. I'm a total history nerd, buff, whatever. And then I love like Star Wars, Star Trek. I'm both. I like them both. I don't think I have to pick.
Why should you pick? I don't get why you have to pick.
They fight.
I know.
And they try to make me choose, and I refuse. I will not refuse. I like them all. I like them both. They both have pros and cons. I like listening to people argue about it because I find it funny. I'll join one side and then the other because I'm hungry. So from that perspective, I'm nerd. I love DC and Marvel. DC is not making great movies right now, guys. But DC comics are good. But like the movies, they're trying. They're not doing great.
They're trying. They're just dark. They're darker.
Every once in a while they do good. I think the dialogue and the storylines, they just don't go great. They're trying. I don't
know. I love me some Wonder Woman and some Aquaman, and I love Flash. I mean, and those are totally DC, but I go back and forth on some of the Superman. I'm really not a fan of like hardly any of the Batman. I just don't like the Batman ones.
I'm such a Batman fan in general, but his movies, sometimes. Anyway, that's not the point. The point is, yes, I am also a geek in that way, as you can tell. Yeah, pretty much in every way that you can think of a geek. I am. I'm a birth geek for sure.
Definitely a birth geek. But, well, I mean, we joke about reading geeks all the time. Yeah.
I read a lot. I love reading. I love reading so much. They're actually making a television series about my favorite book series, which is always terrifying. And it's The Wheel of Time. Robert Jordan, Brandon Sanderson, all about them. But yeah, I've read the whole 15 book series. Most of them are about 1,000 pages each. The prequel, which is not included in that 15 book, is only a couple hundred. So it's not nearly as long. It's a fast read, but I've read all the way through 4 times since high school, which I don't have a lot of time. So that shows you my love of this series. And just the fact that they're making a television series makes me nervous.
Well, hopefully they do it justice. And
Harry Potter. I love Harry Potter.
Yeah, I was going to say you're a Harry Potter fan too. So
Harry Potter so much.
It's been so long since I've read those ones. But
audiobook, man. When you're doing a late night postpartum, turn on Harry Potter audiobook. And then if mom or dad wakes up and comes downstairs and they just hear you listening to Harry Potter, they're like, "Ah, she's cute." You know, can't listen to the Wheel of Time series or, oh no, it left my head. There's this one this is one of the things they made a movie series about one of my book series that I really loved. It's actually not done being written yet. And the movie series is not good.
Let's not be Divergent or Abigail. Don't do that.
I mean, Divergent is good. I mean, it's definitely good when you put your high school hat on, but we can all do that. We can all go back to being teenagers. It's fine. You don't have to be mature all the time. That's my life motto.
Sorry. One of my children is not a sleeper and she's playing.
No, I can totally get it. My dog was running around with his cone head in the background, knocking into things because he hasn't figured out how to walk in it yet.
She's turned my peanut ball into a drum. So she was riding it like a horse earlier. Now it's a drum.
That's cute. Peanut balls are so fun. I don't own one myself because we really only use them in hospitals. And in hospitals, they always have their own. But
I pretty much stopped taking the round ball to prenatals because they know how to use a round ball. It's the peanut ball we need to know how to use. So that's the one I take to prenatals now.
I just really explain it. I just say, take this ball and put a ton of rubber bands on it in the middle. Imagine second, that's a peanut ball.
It was such a worth it. It was so worth it to get that ball. I love that ball. I love that ball. I would like to get all the sizes. I just haven't done it yet.
Expensive.
They are.
Yeah.
They are.
Anyway, all the versions of Geek.
Awesome.
You can't listen to that book series because it talks about goring people. So if they come downstairs because they woke up and they walk in and
probably not a good one to listen to during
they're in the middle of a battle scene.
Yeah. That's okay. Most of the ones that I want I can't say most because I definitely like sci-fi, but I also like
sci-fi is great.
Yeah, but I also like the torrid romance, so I can't listen to that.
Redeeming Love is becoming a movie soon. That's terrifying.
Oh,
because that's a great one. That's a tearjerker.
I haven't read that one. I have to look it up.
I think I own it. I lost a lot of books in the house fire, but I think I still own that one. I think I had it loaned out to somebody.
Well, that would be a plus.
Yeah. That's one that I loan out a lot because it's a very healing book. It's very love yourself for who you are.
Well, I might have to find that one. My next series I was thinking about doing is Dune. Because they just made a part 1 movie that, they remade it. It was awesome. You can watch it on HBO. Not to plug anything, but it was great.
Do not own HBO, but that's
okay.
Yeah, I like to. I'm always so nervous whenever they make movies because let's face it, they've ruined so many really good book series with crappy movies, and then you can't get the crappy movie out of your head, and that makes the book series not as good anymore.
Yes, I agree. It makes it so hard. It's just like I can't hardly read Twilight anymore because I can't do it.
Twilight. Yeah.
I know.
Good at that movie.
No.
But she dropped the ball at the end of the 4th book anyway.
She did. It was
I was like, I loved it. And then I got to the end of the 4th one. I was like,
what just happened?
Did you just decide, you were done?
I guess so. But I haven't picked up those books again since I watched the movies. I'm like, I'm just not interested in it anymore. Not to mention it's a teen, it's teen story.
I lost a bet and had to read Twilight in high school, but I ended up enjoying it. There was another book series that came out at the same time, and it won that prize. Oh, they put the sticker on the front of the book. It's running out of my head right now.
There are a lot of them.
There was a book club at my high school, and you had to read all of the books that were nominated for this prize. It was the year that Aragon won it. And
I like that book too.
my friend had to read that book series, and then I had to read Twilight, and it was like a trade-off. My book series did great. It had 5 books come out over time. It was also a mystical, magical thing, but this was one group can turn into snakes and one group can turn into birds, and they're at war. Which is cool. Yeah.
That is cool. That is cool.
That is cool. Mine was cooler.
That is cool. I
definitely introduced her to a better book series, and it had 5 different book series, and it was like, what happens when different types of magic intermingle and becomes unstable? And it's like the politics behind it, merging, battling kingdoms. That's what I like. I like learning the world building. Anything that has world building.
You would love Dragon Prince. You need to go check Dragon Prince out. It is, I love Dragon Prince. I'm
gonna write that down.
Yeah, Melanie Ron, Dragon Prince. It has 6 books. There are 3 books in the first portion, and then it kind of follows the second generation through the next 3.
Oh, fun!
And they're fat. They're like, they're like an inch and a half.
That's what I like to hear. Fat with small words or fat with big words?
Nope, small words. Small words.
And you can tell the maturity level that they're writing for based on how big they make the words.
Oh yeah, she's got some.
Until you start reading like old lady books, and then those are big too. And I like the old lady books too. Redeeming Love is an old lady book, and it's awesome. I lived with my grandma for a number of years. I moved in with her when I was 16, and I lived with her until I was 19. And we read old lady books together, and then talked about them, and watched Pride and Prejudice, the 6-hour version, because we're cool.
Nice, totally.
I have it memorized. The 6-hour version. That's a fun fact about me. I can quote you Pride and Prejudice. I used to be able to literally just stand there and start at the beginning and just because it's what my grandma liked, and that's how she wanted to spend her Friday nights. And so we would sit down and eat popcorn and watch the entire 6-hour version in one go.
Oh my gosh.
We stay up late. That's what she wanted to do. And I was taking care of my grandma.
The full 6-hour version.
She got it memorized, her and I both. Like we would play it in the background in the house, walking around doing our house chores because we had it so memorized we didn't need to look at the TV.
That's how my sister is with Harry Potter. She just lets it play while she's doing other things. But anyway, let's wrap this up because it's been a long one and we've totally went way off topic because
I'm so sorry. I'm exhausted from this past week, and I am so like you're getting me overnight shifts, full day shifts, 2 births, teaching a childbirth education class all within the last 7 days.
And I didn't cut you off because I was enjoying talking geek with you. So, that's okay.
Learned more about me than you planned to. That's probably another story of my life. Learned more about Kristen than you planned to. Very open.
I figure it just makes us more personable, Hopefully it makes people want to actually get to know us better. That's the whole goal. Come learn more about us. Come be our friends. We're total geeks. We love being weird and crazy. So thank you for joining us today with Afternoon Tea. This is one of our doula interviews with Kristen Mason. You have been a guest with us. And, if you have questions for Kristen or for me, Brittney, send them in. Send us a comment. Send us a chat. We'd love to talk to you, answer questions.
Anytime.
Yeah, anytime. So be sure to hit the like button on this video. Let us know you like it so we can make more of it. And if you really like all of our videos, or even 2, maybe even this one, just 1 video, subscribe so you can and click that notification button so that you can be notified when we have new videos come out. Mm-hmm. They're not always on the same day. We do generally have 1 video every Thursday, but we have other videos that come out just randomly sometimes. Anyway, click that like button, subscribe, and be notified. You can follow us on some of our podcast locations, and we would love to have you with us every day.
Yeah. We're adding a new fun part every once in a while to Monday Morning Coffee, where I am the host, where we are going to do postpartum meals that have been requested of us, but we're going to do them badly. according to the advice given to us to the people who are watching them live. So I do these on every Monday, except today because I'm so tired. I slept right through it. Sorry, guys. But there's my Monday morning coffee from last week covers what we're doing this week. So it was okay. So we'll be giving the schedule and telling you guys what to sign up for while cooking. Cause man, we get some crazy requests for some meal prep. Crazy. And I'm going to do them because I've been getting the weird ones all week. They've been crazy. And I was like, we should make a show about this. We're gonna.
Yep, gonna make a show.
Now my kids are here talking to me. It's just what happens when you work from home.
It is what happens when we have fun. And
down she goes.
They want to join in the fun. So thank you again for hanging out with us today. We love having you here. Goodbye for now. And we will see you.
If you made it to the end, congratulations.
Oh yeah, totally. You know what? We need to pop up one of those gift cards. Do you have a gift card handy? Because if you made it to the end of this video, you deserve a gift card, a gift receipt or something.
You could do, so I don't have the picture of it on me, but Monday Morning Coffee is a promo code to get $50 off of our birth services.
Monday Morning Coffee. There you go. There's your promo code. Use that promo code to get some birth services for you, for a family member, for whomever, and it's $50 off using Monday Morning Coffee. Thank you again for hanging out with us. It was a long one, and I commend you for staying this long.
Maybe go back and edit out some of my rambling.